I think the most significant result might have been the men's 1500. Do you agree with me?
I think so, just because now we know. Well, I guess the one question we'd have about Phanuel Koech that we're not going to get an answer to until September is, how does he manage the rounds? Is he still going to be able to do this in his first major championship after 3 races? But yeah, we'd seen him race some decent guys when he won in Ostrava, when he was second behind Azzedine Habs in Paris. But we had not seen him step up and face one of the big contenders from previous years. And we saw at the Bowerman Mile a couple weeks ago, Azzedine Habs shows up, but he is beaten back by Yard Nagus. He's also beaten by Niels Laros. But yeah, he ran well, but he wasn't, dominating, crushing everyone. This race was different. This was Josh Kerr trying to run a British record, pacing slowed a little bit on the third lap. That was never really going to happen. But Kerr played this thing well. I was like, all right, he's right where he wants to be. He was trying to get to the lead, 200 to go, and Koech just beats him to the punch and destroyed him that last 100 meters. And I think if you're Josh Kerr, or if you're Jared Nagus or Cole Hocker or Jakob Ingebrigtsen, you come away from that race thinking, there's a new guy in this event. He's a big talent. He's going to be dangerous. He's got the speed at the end of the race. Will he be there after 3 rounds? I don't know, but this guy's got the talent to win it all this year, I would say.
It's kind of weird. I've noticed on the podcast, I'm the former coach. I'm really proud of my Cornell guys on being able to run rounds and stuff like that. You've been harping on the rounds a lot in the podcast recently. And for the most part, I think most of these runners are pretty able to handle the rounds. It's not an issue for me. I actually think for Koech, though, it's actually more of a valid concern than others because A, he's so young. B, he used to be an 800-meter runner. But yeah, I thought he'd been running fast, obviously, in these other meets, Koech, but he won one of these non-Diamond League races, or maybe he was second. I was like, his kick doesn't look that amazing. I'm glad that Kenya has a phenom, but I was thinking like, oh, he's probably a year. Well, we're not going to have a Worlds. He's probably 2 years away from really contending and being a factor with the big three or big four. After this one, I'm like, man, he looked good. I mean, Josh Kerr talked big about going for the British record. He went out hard and he just got beat. And then the gap between them and everybody else, um, was fairly large, right? I'm going to try to see if I can
Yeah, I
pull up
mean,
the
there was the fall by George Mills with 200 to go. It was a little hard to tell how much that affected things. The commentators who were in the stadium, Hannah England and Chris Dennis, seemed to suggest that Jake Whiteman, who wound up getting third, he was third, wound up getting fourth. They said he was thrown off a little bit by it. I'm not convinced that he's going to be that close anyway, but I don't think that helped having Mills go down with 200 to go and kind of throw everyone else off. But I think probably Koech and Co are going to be the class of the field either way.
So I put the results up on the screen. Koech wins at 328.82. Half a second back is Josh Kerr, 329.37. No one else under 331. Yeah, there was the fall, 200 meters to go, as you said. But look at it's more often the order of finish. Nader, Whiteman, Thomas, Giles, Nordes, Adam Spencer, Wisconsin Badger, 332.88. I mean, I was watching this race with my 7-year-old son, Samuel Borrega, former indoor champion, 332.9. Ollie Hoare somehow keeps getting into these races. He was running aggressively early on in this race, but ends up 11th. Extremely. I don't know if he was affected by the fall. 334.03. Cam Myers was having a good one. He must have gone down in the fall with Mills because he runs 424. But on the regular podcast, intern Tate was saying, "Oh, I think all these other fast guys are there. They're relevant," and I don't think they are. Like, I think we have the big four plus Koech plus Laros, and I'm not ruling out Whiteman from getting there, but I don't see that. I guess that's a lot of people, but this race was all about Koech taking down Kerr on home soil. But what I was saying was I was watching with my 7-year-old, and I told him beforehand, it's kind of fun to like think about it. He walked in right before. I'm like, this is the big one. And I'm like, okay, this guy's going to probably win. And I pointed to Josh Kerr because he talked big about getting the British record. I mean, he's talking about being in shape right now. Or this guy could win. And I pointed to Koech and wearing his red Adidas kit. And my son's like, oh, the red guy's winning it. And then I said, I don't think he is. And then at the end, he's like, I was right. So that was kind of fun. But I was watching Adam Spencer. These guys were single file, like 800 meters in. Like he was in the last place or next to last. I pointed at my son. I'm like, this guy's a really good runner. I'm like, they're all good. So it it's kind of wild how deep and fast everybody in the world is. But Koech to me, I guess maybe some people are like, well, Rojo, you're finally convinced that what did he run this year? 327 guys for legit? Yes, I'm convinced.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously 327 shows that he's got quite good ability, but we've seen so many fast times, and doing that in a one-off diamond league is a little different from doing it in an Olympic final type race. But yeah, Kerr had been the best 1500 guy in the last two Grand Slam track events. He was facing Nagus and Hocker, beat them in both of those, and now Koech has stepped up and beaten him. So yeah, I think you look at this race moving forward. Koech is, I mean, his PB is faster than Ko's PB and Nagus's PB. Uh, he's going to be a factor, and it's fascinating because you've got another guy to add to the mix, and there is a bit of mystery about what is his ceiling and how is he going to handle the rounds.